Okay, you are live, and we have to be live because India women have clinched the ODI series, and it has been a fantastic England tour. I will say. First, they won that historic T20 series 3-2, and now this ODI series, and this is notably the you can say back-to-back ODI series win in England, and that is a rare case for India women because last time we won that in 2022. That was the last series for Julian Goswami, the legendary bowler, and now this win. So Trishadi, uh, absolutely, we'll talk about this particular game. But overall, how well the tour has gone for the girls, especially considering as a preparation for the World Cup.
Okay, I'll be a little bit of a. I, I mean, you won't like my answer. The thing is, I don't think I am ecstatic about the ODI series win because you and I had spoken about this, and we have been constantly saying that ODI series anyway we were going to win. I would actually said that it's sad if England won the ODI series, especially in this kind of a form. Um,
Hmm.
but T20I series is a big plus, I would say. Um, the way the young bowling unit performed is the biggest plus because I think that was a huge, that was worrying because none of the experienced bowlers were here. Be it and the only all rounder that we had, and when I say only all rounder, not taking anything away from Deepti Sharma. At times Deepti is so much there that you keep forgetting that she's there. But someone like a Pooja Wastrakar is extremely important, especially in English conditions. And I think Amanjot did a fantastic job. I am worried not seeing Amanjot in the last two matches. Um, we will obviously bring in updates about that. But overall, I think if you actually have to take something away from this series, I would like to take the T20 performance, T20 series performance. Just by the way, if you think whom am I greeting, none other than Mr. Shubhayan Chakrabarti, who's roaming around here.
Okay. Uh, but Tushadi, I think we have to talk about first about Kranti Go. I think excellent six-fer and a young bowler, as you mentioned that your senior bowlers are not
Before we
there,
talk about
and I had.
anything, can I say something, Snehashish? Just a second. Sorry, I have been getting a lot of message that why am I not at Chesterley Street? I think one of the reasons for me not being in Chesterley Street is it is a little away from Old Trafford, but the bigger reason is I've not been well, so I think the company didn't want to risk it. So that's why I'm here. But of course, Sharmishta Di was at Lords, the only ODI that we lost. I mean, I don't know I should play her or not.
Yes, unfortunately that is true. But at least today everything is fine because India have won the series. That is all matters. But Tushati, as we are talking that Kranti Gaur, as you
Uh,
mentioned that ahead of this tour, the main problem, the main concern I will say was that you're not having your senior bowlers there,
I mean, the
like Pooja
bowlers, yeah,
Vastakar. Yeah,
yeah.
like Pooja Vastakar, Renuka Singh Thakur, and that was the concern. How this young bowling lineup, especially the pace bowling unit, will come up. But I think, as you mentioned, Amanjot has been impressive with the ball, especially with the new ball. And today, the way Kranti Go, and do not forget those two beautiful deliveries that she bowled against both England openers. So how do you see Kranti Go and particularly in today's game?
I think she was brilliant. I mean, it's one thing, Snehash, is that when we were doing the series preview, I mean, not series preview, we were doing the
Yeah.
first ODI. So we were discussing how she has a wonderful bouncer, she has the Yorker,
Mm.
and she has the in swinger. It's one thing to have the, balls under your kind of, you have the variations, and completely different thing to execute them under pressure. While yes, India has won, but you know what? The third game was actually what kind of showed that England is also not as bad a side as it seemed for the rest of the series.
Exactly.
This is the England
Exactly.
side, and it changes. You know what? England just completely seems like a different side when NSB is performing, and when NSB is
Mhm.
not performing, it's a completely different side. So today, obviously, Nat. Nat was taken by Pooja, not by anybody else. It was definitely. But to be very honest, I think Nathivar Brunt and um, Emma Lamb had a fantastic partnership. But then on, after the first two wickets fell, it was not like it was completely India's game at any point of time, because
Yes.
the England batters, all of them know how to clear the boundary. And that is when, under pressure, for Kranti to execute the Yorker that well was brilliant. And I thought, even for the last wicket, you have just got hit for a six. You could have been over eager to get the ball in the right place. You could have tried for a silly variation, but I think Kranti kept it very simple. Kranti bowled to her strength, and she did a fantastic job. Now selectors have got a brilliant headache. So now, if Renuka comes back, who do you go for? In fact, Vaibhav, one of our teammates, was saying that why not Renuka from one end and Kranti from another end? If Amanjot is injured, I would love to see that. If both
Hmm.
Amanjot and Renuka both are injured, then I don't know what to say.
Yes, yes, that is one thing that we have to keep an eye on. But as you mentioned, Trishadi, that as a team, do you think that this is the biggest positive from this game, that winning that crunch situation? That okay, the game is still 50-50. This is the moment that we have to win, and as a team, they waited. They looked very patient, and ultimately they emerged as the winners. So, do you think this is the best positive that they should take from this game?
Absolutely. I think this is where India has, even we lost two T20Is, but even in those
Very true.
T20Is, we could have won. It could have been 5-0, it could have been 3-0, and the whole thing would have been so much different. Um,
Hmm.
but whenever we have lost in those crunch situations. So today, I thought, India kept their nerve. It was. When Emma Lamb and NSB were running away with the match, they did not overcomplicate it, especially the bowlers. I'll give it to the bowlers. Um, it could have gone so wrong from then on, because the moment, it's like if Emma Lamb and Natsivar Brunt had continued for 2-3 more overs, they would have
Yes.
pushed the paddle, they would have changed the gear, and then the whole scenario would have gone upside down. Especially
And
because I
and
do
at
think
one
India was
stage
playing one
England
bowler
were
short.
ahead. At one stage England were ahead. Mm.
Also, Snehashish, Radha was playing today in place of
Eh,
Arundhati. Uh, so it was that much more difficult, I would say. And interestingly enough, today, out of 100 overs, not 100, it's 99.5 overs were bowled.
yes.
Out of 99.5 overs, 70 overs were bowled by spinners. So,
Mm.
yes, they were playing in England, but the whole concentration was on subcontinent for sure.
Yes. Every team is focusing for the World Cup. Every team is
Even from
focusing that
100
World Cup.
something runs, I was just checking somewhere. I saw 100 odd runs were made via sweep shot. Wait, I'll tell you. Hold on a
Yes.
second. Yeah, 105 runs from sweep shots and variants of spinners in this match. The second most in an ODI, where obviously not all women ODIs or
Yes.
test matches data are available. This is for matches that data are available. This is the highest, 105 runs in sweep shots. When you hear such stats, what do you know? You
Mm.
can close your eyes blindly and say that two batters for India have scored:
Yes.
Jemima Rodriguez and Harmanpreet Kaur.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. But Trisha, you have to talk about the crucial cameo from Richa Ghosh. I think that was the
Oh,
game changing in the end. That
why
cameo.
are we talking about something which happens every day? It's like the sun rising from the east. Richa, 10 balls, 12 balls, 30, 35 runs. I think she has done brilliantly. At that position, finisher. Thank God Amal Mazumdar woke up and realized that she's not at number three. Thank God. I mean, Richa would have been
and
gone.
and that Nat Shiva catch was very good.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And yes.
brilliant. Of course,
Mhm.
brilliant.
That
But also,
catch was
that the whole overall, I think the fielding both in T20Is
yes,
and ODI series
super.
has been good. England probably has looked a little
Ah,
behind us in the field. In the field, I'm talking about fielding. And when you can say that about an Indian side, you know how well India has fielded in the series. Uh,
yes, I
I
think
think
I
somebody was
think for
saying
the
about
first time, since the 2024 T20 World Cup, we are telling that India have been brilliant in the field for the first time.
2024 World Cup.
T20 World Cup, T20 World Cup.
We were bad. No.
No, I mean for the first time we are saying that we have been good.
Oh, okay, okay, got it, got it,
Yes,
got it.
I think since 2024. But as you mentioned, obviously the batting has been super. I think today Harmanpreet Kaur will be very much relieved. Two things that have gone in her favor. First of all, obviously the century, and finally she has won a toss. Oh, thank God. Thank God. So everything has gone into our favor. But about her innings, Tushadi, how well she looked, and I think it was very much needed ahead of the World Cup that your skipper ending the tour on a high with the bat.
See, I'll tell you what was the good part about the innings. Most of the innings, she actually did not look good, but she
Yes.
stayed there. She did not give her wicket away. That was the important part. And uh, it's important that Harmanpreet realizes this, that she does not need to look good, or she does not need to connect always. Important part is she has to play the longest innings. Especially for the first, I think, 12 balls, she was on zero. Because Sophie Eccleston was in complete rhythm, and not good signs that Eccleston was showing some brilliant rhythm today. Not great signs at all. But what I liked is Herman fought that part, the part where she generally gives her wicket away, the 20s, the 30s. And then after 50s, Herman shifting gear is nothing new or something that you don't expect. The only complaint which will always remain, and this I was saying even in the pre-show, that unfortunately Herman scores in very few matches. If you actually take her scores out, you will see whenever she has scored 100, she has gone on to score 120, 130, 140. But the problem is he does not cross that 30 a number of times, or that 40 a number of times. 40 though is Smriti's favorite number. Sorry, not Harman. So I think it's always important that your senior batter stays on. When you are saying that Richa has scored a 11 ball 38 not out, or 40 or 50, you have to provide that platform for Richa. She cannot come and first stabilize the innings and then go for runs. Yes, Richa has played superbly, but you had that platform. And I think more than Harman, and taking nothing away from Harman's century, but more than Harman, you have to give it to Jemima. The way Jemima
Yes.
came and attacked, I think released the pressure from Harman, because when Harleen was batting, Harleen was slow, Harman was
Yes.
slow, and the whole run rate was getting affected. There, to actually ensure that the run rate is picked up, and India started scoring at 11 from three and a half,
Mhm.
4. That is what made the difference, because ultimately England also scored 305. So you
Exactly.
could not have scored anything less than that 320 odd. India got 318. But had Jemmy not come and picked up that pace, we could have easily ended with a 275 and 275 to 280, which would have been a completely different chase.
Absolutely. But usually one just question that obviously there are a lot of positive that we have been continuously discussing, the bowling, the fielding, the batting, everything. But do you think that as a team, is this something a concern that India also considered 300 plus while defending 318? Is this a concern, or okay, the pitch was that kind of that okay, batters were getting easy, I will say, at the start at least.
Look, you have to realize who scored runs. That is more important for me. So if you see 68 and 98 from Natsiver Brand, which means almost more than half the runs scored by
Exactly.
NSB and Emma Lamb, I will not be very worried, because somebody like Natsiver Brand, you expect her to score in almost all pitches. She's that good a batter. Maybe she's not 100% fit. I don't know if the groin injury is bothering her, because she has been kind of off of the hasn't really performed in every single match. But Nat Brandt performing is not something that really tells me that Indian bowlers haven't done well or something of that sort. I think.
Yes, absolutely. But when we're talking about Indian bowling, I think we have to talk about Sri Charani, and we have been talking about her for a long time now. In the T20 series, she was superb, and she was the player of the series, if I'm not wrong. And then in the ODI series, she has been superb. And today, I think in the crunch situation, she came up with that wicket, the Himalayan wicket, and that moment, and that is the
That
one
turned
that
the
the,
match.
yeah,
That turned the game
exactly.
completely.
Exactly. And again, that, giving air to the ball, and, you make the batter waiting to hit the ball. And again, so how do you see, and what's your thought on that, Trishadi?
I think I have kept my thoughts pretty consistent, as consistent as Shri Charani has kept her bowling line and length. Um, that I cannot keep repeating, but I have to, because that rev on the ball, the control that she bowls with, it's a joy to watch. I literally cannot wait for India to unleash Sri Charani on Australian batters.
Hmm. Yes. And that is also in India, in Indian conditions. So,
And I
so that
think,
will be exciting.
Kranti will find, you might well see Aliza Healy, the Australian captain, being Kranti Gore's bunny, because she has extreme weakness for that in swinger. Healy gets beaten by in swinger. Aliza
Yes.
Healy gets beaten by in swinger. Who can forget the swing from Shikha Pandey? So I think Kranti will enjoy bowling to Healy. But I also think that Sri Charani could be your X factor going into the World Cup, because
Yes.
after all, the World Cup is in Indian conditions.
Yes. Okay. Harmanpreet Kaur has been named player of the match, and also the player of the series.
Sorry,
Yes,
what for?
play of the match and also the play of the series. I know Trishadi is not happy because being a former bowler, Trishadi is kind of not happy. I know Kranti deserves that sequence. Thoughts about this, Trishadi?
Nonsense, nonsense, absolute rubbish. In Jeffrey Boycott's word, rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. I mean, come on, guys, come on.
Yes. First of all, it is nothing against Harmanpreet Kaur. Just because in a
No,
chase,
no, it is
when you
nothing
are
against Harmanpreet Kaur. Yeah, I mean,
exactly,
Harmanpreet Kaur scored
exactly,
100, Matt Seaver scored 100. I mean,
exactly.
okay, 4 runs here and there. So you have to give it to Kranti Gaur. What rubbish, man. But chalo, player of the match, de diya. Player of the series. For God's sake, guys, come on.
Yeah, प्ले ऑफ द सीरीज तो मुझे भी थोड़ा पता नहीं पड़ती कि प्ले ऑफ द सीरीज भी कैप्टन को ही मिला है. ओके. ओके. बट ओके,
Let's end
मूविंग
the
ऑन.
show here. I'm done.
ओके,
No,
और दो
guys,
दो तीन मिनट.
I just have one question for the viewers here. Nothing against Harmanpreet Kaur at all. I mean, come on, she's the Indian team captain, and
Yes.
you want her to do well. But the question is, your pitch is for batters. All the rules are for batters. When a bowler is getting wickets, what are you doing to encourage her? Nothing.
And six
The
wickets.
answer is
And six
nothing.
wickets.
6 wickets, and she's young. I mean, Harmanpreet has got hundreds. Um, and you know what? If Harmanpreet had got 100 and rest of the batters in both the teams had got 40s and 50s, I would have understood. But that's where Brunt has got a 98. Harmanpreet has got a 102. There's not much of a difference. India has lost by just 5 or 6 runs. I mean, India has won by 5 or 6 runs. Sorry. In my anger, I'm
Yes.
saying something else. But India has
13,
just
13
won
runs. 13
by
runs.
13 runs. It could have gone either way had Sri Charani not picked up Lamb's wicket, and then had Kranti not picked up, the 6 wickets that she has picked up at particular time. England could have run away with the game, because Eccleston can hit, so can Lauren Bell. Lauren Bell also hit
Yes,
Kranti for a
Doorbell
six.
also hit her first international six.
Yes, of course. And see, because you have to understand, English batters, Australian batters, they regularly, I mean, bowlers, they regularly play BBL and the Vitality Blast
The
T20
100.
series
The
and the
100.
100. Yeah, in fact, by the way, Snehashish, guess who I met today at the press box?
I, I,
Your
I am
life English
Taylor,
bowler.
Taylor, Taylor.
No,
No.
bowler.
Oh, Bollard. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Bollard.
Listen,
Ooh,
listen. I'll give you hints. I'll give you hints. Okay. First hint is one of our favorite pacers
okay.
from England. From England. England. Okay.
Coming and okay. Easy on.
There you go.
Ah. Did
And
she
you know
say
what?
something?
Okay,
Did
I
you
have
ask
to tell
something?
you guys this story. I have to tell you guys this story. I had
Yes.
completely forgotten. So, you know, Rohan was standing beside me, and Rohan suddenly says, "I have seen her somewhere." And I'm like, "Who? What? Where?" And I look at her. I'm like, "Easy wong, easy wong." And I went to her and I said, "Hi, hey, can I take a picture with you?" Because I think she was here from for some presser or media activity for Manchester Originals. So
Okay. Okay.
I was like, "Can I take a picture with you?" She said, "Yeah, yeah, sure." Once I took a picture, you know what did she say? She said, "Shukriya."
Oh, nice. WPL effect.
Yeah, exactly. And then I told her that, you know what, I love the way you bowl. She was coming out again. So I told her that, I love the way you bowl. I hope you get to bowl more. And she was like, thank you so much. Thank you. And Rohan all the while was like, will she give her jersey to me? That is the only thing she kept saying. But, but that Shukriya
Rohan
stayed with me.
and Rohan and his never-ending love for jerseys.
Oh, you won't believe we are doing live shows and somebody goes wearing some jersey. You will like, mate, this jersey. And I'm like, you do the show, by. Like, what are you doing?
Okay, okay. Now we will wrap this up. Last few comments, Tushedi. The England series is done and it has been superb. You have won the T20 series. You have won the
I
ODI
have
series.
not won. The Indian team has won.
Yes, yes. But now, before the World Cup, before the warm-up matches up for the World Cup, we have only three matches left, and that too against the mighty Aussies, the Australians in India. And it doesn't matter whether you are playing in India or anywhere; it is against Australia, so it is going to be very tough. So, how do you see that series, and how much excited you are seeing the condition of the team right now ahead of the Australia series?
I think the team is in a great shape. The only thing, again, I think one of the biggest concerns will be Amanjot's injury, because that again shifts the complete balance of the team. And I don't know why am I losing my voice, but sorry guys. But I think Amanjot, we have to confirm. Let's see if she is injured, because first ODI, I think she got hit on her thumb or something while fielding. I don't remember exactly where, but she did. The next two, whether they were precautionary and she missed, I'm not sure. Workload management, if somebody tells me it's workload management, then I think Indian team management has successfully pulled off another, nonsense. But I don't think it's workload management. I do think that must be injury. Um, but yeah, to be very honest, I think India is coming with a strong team, a much stronger team, because someone like Kranti, who must have come with a level of apprehension, anxiety, anticipation to England, is actually going to take a lot of confidence from this series. But as you said, Nehashish, the problem is it's Australia. They are always hungry to win. And do not forget that they were not even in the finals of the last World Cup that we are talking about. Not the ODI World Cup, the
Yeah,
T20 World Cup.
T20. Mhm.
And ever since, they have been acting like they have to win every single thing.
Yes.
The way they beat England in the Ashes, yes, England was a poor side. England is rebuilding, but still I would say, with Australia, you are never the clear favorites. It's always going to be a tough contest. But if India can win that series and go into the World Cup, it will be a massive,
Huge.
massive, confidence booster. And in India, of course, India has to be the favorite. And then there's 2025, the year in itself,
Yes. Yes.
where the team that has not won has
the,
won.
the
So
magic the magic of 2025.
the magic of 2025, maybe it will stick with India. But of course, I do think that it's a very, very crucial World Cup, decides a lot of things. And maybe if there has to be some harsh calls taken after the World Cup. But as of now, the ODI team looks absolutely settled, which is a fantastic news because, as you said, three more matches and you're into the World Cup. World Cup warm up games are as much, it's
Yes.
not something that you can really count as preparation because by then you are in the World Cup mode. Um, Good part, we will be, we will be there with the team, so we
Yes.
will be cheering the team up.
Yes. But last question. I know it's tough for you, Trishadi, out there. But last question: do you
Yeah.
think Shefali Verma is making a comeback in the Australia series? Do you see that? Do you need that? Do you need Shefali Verma in this squad right now?
You need Shafali Verma in every squad in India.
Are you okay?
Period.
Okay.
Do you include her in the squad? I don't mind if you include her, but I wouldn't play her in the playing 11 because that would be unfair on Pratika. I don't think Pratika has done anything wrong to be dropped right now just before the World Cup, and it would be unnecessary to put Shafali also through it. When you are making a comeback just 3 matches into the World Cup,
Mm.
I think it's unfair. Yes, Shafali is a once in a generation player, but also, you know what, Sneha? So much talk around Shafali. What people do not realize is Shafali is still very, very young. So she
Yes.
can make a comeback. I think this is something that you and I have been speaking about.
Mm.
Shafali, I think, has 4 more World Cups to go.
Yes.
Till you start talking about her getting old. It's not even about her stopping. It's about her getting old. So I think she has enough time in her left in her career. So I would be, if I was in the Indian team management, the right persons, I don't think I would go for Shafali right now because I think that would be unnecessary pressure on Pratika for no
Mm.
apparent reason. She has not
Yes.
looked bad here,
Yeah.
but
She looked
I
decent.
would say
Mm.
as expected. mm, I mean, I kind of had told you that I don't think in
Yes.
this series Pratika is going to come up and score as easily as she did against the rest of the teams because English conditions are favorable for batting, yes, but it would take time for someone like Pratika to settle in. So I do think that in general the squad looks way more settled than it had come to England. But if we are taking back a few injury concerns, then that is something that we need to look into. And I do think that we do need to look into somebody other than Radha Yadav. That part needs to be
Mm.
solved. Fielding, no complaints from her, but bowling, I do think we need to look beyond her.
Yes, absolutely. So as we all discussed, that lots of positives are there from this tour, but obviously the next assignment is the three ODIs against Australia in India, and then obviously the World Cup. All eyes will be on that marquee event. So thank you, Tushadi. Thank you everyone for joining in. We have to be live because it has been a superb tour, but obviously we'll be come back with a different video on women's cricket. Obviously, uh, maybe discussing everything that is happening around the world. But you also keep an eye on the episodes starting from tomorrow because the Manchester test is beginning tomorrow and it's a must-win game for the Indian mains because you have to win this game. So let's see how the main performs there. But as of now, thank
Also,
you.
they have to do announce that for women's cricket, of course, the Zimbabwe or the
Yeah.
Japan or Ireland series are something that we are not able to follow because we have to understand it's a multi-sport channel. There's so much to do, but we will, of course, be there for the 100. And there
Yeah.
was some other series that we were talking about, right?
Yes. 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 Like the
I
West
mean,
Indies
mostly
or
the
something, South
important
Africa
series
series,
will come.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So we'll try our best to come up with as many as possible, the videos for women's cricket. But till then, thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. Till then, take care. Goodbye.